Hundreds of supermarkets in Sweden are forced to close after a cyber attack that's hit organizations all around the world. President Biden says the US is not certain who is behind a ransomware cyber attack that's hit 200 American businesses and one of Sweden's biggest supermarket chains. The initial thinking was that it was not the Russian government, he said, but we're not yet sure. The Co-op in Sweden says it's had to close around 500 of its stores temporarily after checkouts began crashing on Friday evening. The cybersecurity firm Huntress Labs said the hack first targeted a Florida-based IT company, Kaseya, before spreading through corporate networks that use its software. Kaseya is now urging customers who use its data visualization tool to immediately shut down their servers. Our cyber reporter Joe Tidy explains how severe the attack is.
Yeah, I think many people would be unfamiliar with the name Kaseya, but it's one of these companies that actually is massive, and it's used by lots of other companies around the world. And that's why this is so serious, because usually a ransomware attack involves hackers gaining access to a computer system, and they can take weeks or months to gain access to that system. And then when they're ready, they will encrypt the network and take over and hijack that system and then demand a payment from the victim. So in this case, what they've done is they've gone after Kaseya, and they have effectively popped that company and therefore taken victims of their entire supply chain. There's a figure going around at the moment by this cybersecurity company that seems to be on top of the situation, Huntress Labs, that says that around 200 companies that use Kaseya, they have been affected by this. And normally it's one of these stories that is a really big deal in the cybersecurity world, and it's a real concern. But now we're seeing, of course, a company that everyone does know, and that's Co-op, massive company in Europe, in the UK, and of course a massive player in Sweden in terms of supermarkets there. I think there was something like 20% of all food sold in supermarkets in Sweden is done through Co-op. And now we're seeing that Co-op, even though it doesn't use Kaseya directly, it uses a company that uses Kaseya. They have now had to close around 500 of their stores in the country. And of course, that's having a massive impact on not only the company, but also people trying to buy their groceries.
And Joe, at this stage, any idea who's behind the attack?
Yeah, strong indications are coming from Huntress Labs. And of course, this isn't a sort of national authority. This is only one cybersecurity firm, but they're pointing in the direction of REvil, which is a cyber criminal gang which uses a piece of malware, of ransomware called Sodinocobi, and they are notorious. They are the same company that, of course, held Travelex, the foreign exchange company, to ransom back in 2019 and caused huge amounts of problems for that company, cost them millions in reported ransoms. And then, of course, there was the big hit against a meat supplier, a Brazilian meat supplier that affected meat supplies in the US last month. And they were, well, it's not reported actually, that the company, JBS, admitted to paying REvil $11 million to get them out of their situation. So right now, it looks like REvil could be holding not only Kaseya, but a whole chain of different companies to ransom for potentially millions of dollars.